Hi guys! So from experience I know that this time of year is when schools, universities, colleges all get you ready for the future because it's getting to that point of the term when you really need to think about what you want to do with the rest of your life. Now I'm not meaning to scare anyone, but basically if you're anything like me, I've only actually got 5-6 months left of term and then I'm done for university for good. So I feel like I'm well in the knowledge of helping out with people that maybe want to study fashion. I get about 6 emails a week, if not more, from loads and loads of you guys asking me for tips on portfolio and what advice I have for studying fashion, things like that. So I thought I would just make a video with my tips for studying fashion, things that I've picked up and wish I knew before I started. Now, if you wanted to watch other videos or you have any questions, I have actually got a ton more videos that I will link the playlist down below and in a card up the top, but I do have loads of other videos based around different parts of studying fashion, so tips for building a portfolio, showing my portfolio from last year, which is very much improved from then, but that's basically what it looked like then, and loads of different things just so I could kind of help out in the best way that I can, because I know that when it came to me applying for university I hadn't got a clue and there was nothing anywhere, so I just kind of wanted to do my bit and help out. I don't know whether these tips are necessarily going to help if you don't know whether you want to or not, or whether they're going to help you make a decision. I don't really know. It's just things that I feel like you should know before you start at university studying fashion, or even college, because I did actually do college too. So the first tip I want to give you is to study hard. I know there's a few exceptions where people have, but from experience and like from knowing university and stuff, it's really difficult to get into the industry and get internships and stuff if you're not a student. So studying fashion, especially design, because I don't really know about any other pathways, but studying fashion design, we get so much more insight into what it's actually going to be like in the industry, from things like we get help on ways to make a project like industry, we do trend forecasting, kind of. That's more on like other pathways and other courses, and we learn a lot of essential skills. So before university I'd never actually learned how to make a pattern before, which sounds really stupid because that's kind of one of the main things of fashion, but that's something that I'd never had to do. In college all my patterns were literally made by like tracing out clothing that I already had, or the shapes of people's heads, things like that. So it's definitely important to go to university and learn the key skills that you're going to need for the industry. I know for a fact that if I would have gone straight into industry and not done college and university, I wouldn't have a clue. I'm still learning every single day different parts of what I'm going to be doing if I go into fashion afterwards. Tip number 2 is to save, and I honestly can't stress this point enough. Like, I really wish that it had been stressed to me when I began university, because I didn't save. I had probably about £200 to my name before I started university, and that all got blown pretty much on Nando's and alcohol in my first week, and I was really unprepared for the cost of university, and obviously the more that you go through, the more it costs. So for example, first year probably didn't even cost me half of what second year did. Second year cost me nothing compared to what this year already has. So just as like a ballpark figure, my last project cost me about £1,000. That included buying my fabric, which is quite expensive. My manufacture cost me £300. Things like sketchbooks, printing, literally the smallest things that you wouldn't even think of being a cost are still quite expensive, and it all does add up. So I think I've probably, over the whole time of my degree, and I don't really want to think about this, but I genuinely think I've spent about £4,000 to £5,000, and none of that has been government funded. That's been me like working my butt off to get that money. So I would definitely recommend that you save money. Even if you just have to work flat out for the summer before that you start, or even for a month, just sell like everything that you don't want on eBay, things like that, just anything to get some money, because you really are going to need it when you get into university. Tip number 3 is to be dedicated, because studying fashion is not easy. It's really hard work, it's really time consuming, and you definitely need to know that it's what you want to do with the rest of your life, because otherwise you're going to be in it and it's just going to be hard. Like, there's millions of uni students that go out partying all the time, and I know for a fact that 90% of my course and other fashion courses don't get that luxury, because we have so much work to do. It's not like other courses. Some courses like maths and stuff are really heavily exam based. Ours is all coursework, so basically every single little thing that you do counts towards your final grade, especially in second and third year, so it's really important that everything gets done. And obviously they're really time consuming projects, so you don't want to leave it all to the last minute, so you have to be dedicated to doing the work and you have to like really focus. Which leads me on to tip 4, which is motivation. Now, if I wasn't motivated, there's no way on this earth that I would be able to do as much as I do. I don't really know how I managed to study fashion and have a job and do university. Like, I just do far too much, and I think that the motivation is like the key factor. Like, you have to make yourself get out of bed, you have to make yourself stay up late, you have to force yourself to do your uni work, because I know personally that I would much rather go shopping or go out somewhere or just watch telly or procrastinate, but it's really important that you do your work and you're motivated, because otherwise you will leave it to the last minute, and then, like I just said, it doesn't get done, and it's not the kind of subject where you can cram in the last night and it gets finished, because from experience that doesn't work. Tip number 5. This isn't more of a tip, kind of advicey thing. Fashion is not glamorous. Everyone seems to think that studying fashion design especially, all you do is draw dresses, make dresses and go to fashion shows and do cool things, and a bit like Devil Wears Prada and stuff. It's nothing like that. Devil Wears Prada is not my life. You have a lot of late nights, you have a lot of tears, you have a lot of happiness, you will be told that your work is really rubbish, you'll be made to redo things, you will be doing internships for no money where you're running around making tea and coffee for people. Like, it's not a glamorous industry unless you're at the top, and even then it's still not that glamorous. Now, I'm not moaning about that because I personally can't wait to get into the industry and have all of that experience, but it's not glamorous. It's not all fashion shows and pretty dresses, and you need to be prepared for that, because if you think that's what fashion is, then maybe you're going into the wrong subject. It's really stressful, and it's really fast paced, and it's really long hours, and like, I go to university pretty much wearing jeans and a t-shirt and minimal makeup and minimal hair a lot of the time. I don't run around in like fashion blogger clothes. I do on the weekends, fine, but not to university. It's just not glamorous, and I don't really know how else to explain the lack of glamour, but if you speak to any fashion student or fashion graduate or someone in the industry, they will tell you it's not glamorous at all. And the final tip, personally, I think is online presence. Now, that might sound really strange to some of you, but I have found that through building an online presence, I've actually gained myself work. So, for example, one of my internships last year, they approached me through my Instagram account. They'd seen that I did a menswear degree, and they saw that I did fashion design and they needed an intern, so that ended up landing me a job. And I think it's really important that you have an online presence, especially considering the world is so online right now, that you'd be really silly not to have some form of social media set up. Now, I don't openly broadcast the fact that I do have a separate account for all my uni work, which is called Jessie_Margot, which is the name that I personally go by for my design work, because my name is Jessica and my middle name is Margaret. I don't really like my middle name, it's my mum's name, but I shortened it to Margot because I wanted to fall in love with my middle name, and I quite like the name that I created, and that would be my name if I ever set up my own brand or anything like that. It's really important to make yourself known as a person to the industry. It obviously looks really good to an employer if you're applying for an internship or a job, and you can say, look, this is the work I've done, I've got an online portfolio, la-di-da-di-da. I would also say to set up things like an arts thread, because you can upload your portfolio on there. I have a Facebook page with all my designs and stuff. Like, it's just really important to get yourself out there, like on LinkedIn, things like that, just so that you are online and able to find jobs and people are able to find you, because it's not always that you apply for jobs, sometimes they do just fall into your lap, very rarely. Now, the online presence is more for after uni, but it's really important that you build yourself as a brand and you're not just known as that fashion student that sent that work in that time. You want to be known as who you are and what you do. And the final thing I'm going to say is you need to really love what you do. I am so passionate about my degree. I absolutely love what I do, and when I've been asked before if I would do any other degree or ever saw myself in any job that I'd love to do, like, I couldn't tell you anything else. I genuinely really like my degree and really like studying fashion, and I'm hoping to get a few more videos up based around studying fashion, because I think it's really important to give you guys some kind of something, because I know how little there was when I looked. I'm actually going to do a Q&A at some point as well, so feel free to leave comments down below for that, because I will be more than happy to answer any questions that you have, because I do get a lot of questions. And yeah, I hope you found this video informative in some way. I'm sorry that it's not a style or beauty video, but I just wanted to add a bit of my love and my passions into my channel and inspire some of you. And yeah, Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. We only said goodbye with words. Oh, there we go.